Come over to the yard where Tim Kings is working, the project manager for this boat, to come and have a look at the boat. And look at the neighbours. This is what we're here for. This is the sailing yacht Smith. My goodness. And she used to have a transom slope the other way, and Tim and his crew have made the transom come out that like that now. And did a beautiful job. Terrific.
Yeah, understaff props. They're variable pitch. And we're replacing the spurs, the line cutters, the zincs, and you can see the original bottom paint on this boat was copper clad.
All right. So
right there.
Yeah.
See the copper?
Yep.
Copper, copper. The original coating on this was like this outrageously expensive copper clad where they were spraying chewed up pennies in epoxy.
My first time on board a super yacht. This is a new transom. Can you see the way the old transom, you can still see the name of the boat in here.
Yeah.
Wow. Gee, she's warm in there. And they've reversed it and put on this
with
new
the
transom.
platform, swim platform, the fold out swim platform, the ladder that goes back there.
It's good work.
Yeah, this was all done at Vectorworks in Titusville, Florida. They do all kinds of molds for every kind of boat building company in the world, and coaches. They did some stuff on the space shuttle. It's a big 5-axis machine. Yeah, so we took a chainsaw right through here and cut it from here. Cut it through here. Then,
That must have been a day that you did that.
oh Lord, cut the cap rail that was here. The flagpole was on center. The light was part of the flagpole. Adding this, there's a piece of teak put away. Comes across here
there.
when this is up, and we close this. You barely tell. There's a seat that goes here, the cushions that come across. So
Yes.
just like she was.
Mate, I've got a set of these on my boat.
Yeah, you do. In fact, the Navtex, Timmy Eliason there, I remember well buying those from him, because I used to buy them from him when I was with Kiwi Boats. So there was a lot of things products I was still using from my Kiwi Boat days when I got to Taiwan.
Right.
Yeah, there's Navtex hydraulics.
Yeah. So so there's the buttons for the winches?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And here, it is set on the inside here.
Yeah.
Those are for the running backstays and for the...
These are running
the
backstays?
Those are running backstays. Yeah, it goes underneath there to that shiv. Because it works opposite than the way you normally load a winch. You load a winch this way,
yeah,
right?
clockwise, yeah.
This goes the opposite way because you want this to the outside.
Outside.
So this
That's why
was here to go the other way. That's the proper one.
Yeah.
This is the knucklehead one.
Right.
Standing rigging that Nick and I change out ourselves here. It took us a week.
Yeah.
One at a time, one at a time, one at a time. Unpin it. Take it off, take a halyard, hoist it up. Okay, slowly lower it down, lower it down, lower it down. Okay, here's the new one. Back up, put the pin. One at a time, one at a time, one at a time.
Gorgeous. So what are they made of?
carbon fiber.
Carbon fiber
Yeah,
shrouds.
hundreds of little tiny rods of carbon fiber woven together. It's called EC6 rigging.
Right. And there's no give in it.
No, you feel how taunted
Yeah, it
this
is.
It's carbon fiber woven
there's nothing
into
in
one single cable. And then this is a carbon fiber chafe guard.
Right.
See here, look on the back.
Yeah, I saw that it didn't look like part of the rigging.
Yeah, this is what keeps the UV off it.
Right.
And all inside there is bunches of carbon fiber,
Just tightly
solid
wound.
rods, tightly wound.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for a spinnaker halyard or a different kind of fittings, aren't they?
Yeah.
Not just a snapshot.
No, no.
No, you take this off, take the load off it, take this off of there, and then she opens up the jaw.
Soft shackle type arrangement.
We have soft shackles. That's we wouldn't call. Yeah, I guess you could call this a soft shackle, but we have other examples of soft shackles. These are recklings out of Hamburg. I flew over to Hamburg, watched them be tested and whatnot before we sent the final money. That was very interesting to see that factory, whoa, in Hamburg, Germany. Me and the captain at the time flew over there.
When was she built?
We started her in '91.
So carbon was an unknown.
In its infancy.
Yeah.
I mean, but we went from rod rigging to foil rod rigging to carbon rigging, but carbon rigging was just in its infancy even at that time, so we thought it was a little too untested, and he went with rod rigging on the boat. So everything was rod, and the boom, the mainsail furled into the mast.
Yes,
Now,
which is what I've got.
this mast is 32 feet taller than the original mast.
32 feet.
Taller.
That's a hell of a lot.
Yeah, and they took they took like 5.5 tons from the old rig to the new rig. They took out it. They made it lighter by going taller.
By going taller.
Because of all the carbon rigging, the EC6 rigging. I mean, you see that? That's one piece all the way up.
Yeah.
And even we could handle it, Nick and I ourselves. Nick at the top and me supporting him, winching him up to the top and then tying the lines on and pulling that up.
How is it shipped here?
In a big coil.
Oh, in a coil?
Yeah, in a big coil.
Right.
Big diameter coil.
Any tension on the coil?
None.
Right.
It had to be just, you know, you couldn't make it any smaller than that coil. It was a big diameter.
We hardly have to open them now. Fortunately, these are young winches and they work marvelously.
Wow. So the Genoa is permanent, the Genoa sheet's permanently attached?
Yeah. Permanently attached.
And it just rolls itself along the drum.
There were two.
And this is one thing, but that's really the more important part. That's number. It always keeps tension on the line, whether the sheet is flapping because the sail's luffing or whatever. It's always feeding with tension, so it will roll perfectly.
So is that like rolling jaws in there or
It's
something?
Kevlar belts.
Oh, and of course, if you look here, see the worm gear?
Worm gear, yes.
So it always stacks the line in a perfect line.
And this is where the sails get trimmed.
This is it.
This is
So I park my bottom here.
Yeah, and you're on cushions and whatnot.
And I just go,
Lower this. This is the main. You want a sheet, ease it, unfurl it, staysail, furl, unfurl. So this turns that staysail on the bow. It's not as complex once you get it up and sail and whatnot about.
So you can still check out everything.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We use it all the time. And then we can see our rudder angles, so we know, because it's a hydraulic steering, you don't feel at home.
No.
So we watch how
Your
much
rudder angle.
helm we have with the angle.
I know.
And the rudder angle order, port and starboard. Let's see, this was still original. This is the owner's. We are north. This is the Atlantic.
Lighthouse.
Here, that's the lighthouse.
Yeah.
If you recognize that, this is his property right here.
Right.
Right on that south side. This he wanted to turn into a media room. this had double French doors that went into the dining room at the time, and then he put the marble on. And then still the original dining room, the original dining table that we built at the yard 30 years ago. You know, this is all Anna Gray wood.
Look at that.
Yeah, automated sliding door. When you go past it, you got a tray.
Yeah.
And it opens up there.
So you did that 30 years ago?
30 years ago.
Right.
But custom made by Goshbelish refrigeration, and all the compressors are down below. So they're not up here.
Dishwasher, thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
Engine room.
So this is a captain's cabin, is it?
Yeah.
Here's the mast, on the mast step. The structure we have is just supreme structure, longitudinal stiffeners. There's 5 total that go from bow to stern of these stiffeners. This is the center, the main centerboard trunk.
Yeah.
Right here. These are all hydraulic.
So what's her minimum draft?
7'6"
And maximum draft?
19 feet.
19
feet. It's the centerboard. From
So does this pivot?
Yeah,
Or
See this?
vertical?
See this right here?
Yeah. All right. That's its pivot.
That's its pin.
Right. And that's original, right?
That's original. That's original. Yeah.
And this is what Nick keeps going.
This is what Nick keeps working on, keeps them going. Keeps them
Right.
polished. Look at it, nice and white. They weren't this painted white here when we first got here.
You can see from here the winch could move the center board.
Yes.
You see from here, this is the winch to up and down the center board when we need it. We're gonna start sailing. So
What is that? Dyneema or is that Kevlar?
I don't know, but that's
That's it.
called 15 tons. So has to be really strong.
Yeah. Thanks for showing us your office, Nick.
Ah, thank you for coming.
Right.
This is the crew quarters all the way up here. Engineer, the captain with in-suite heads.
All right.
In-suite heads.
Yeah.
In-suite heads here.
Captain, crew. Oh, and this would have to be Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick and
Nick and
Danilo.
Danilo.
See the hatch up on the foredeck? They open that up and get a nice breeze going through there.
Right.
And this is the watertight hatch as well right here. So the collision bulkhead is forward of there.
Right.
So if we dog that off and the bow falls off, Nick's up there.
He gets wet.
Yeah, Nick's getting wet. There's the guest cabin.
Right.
It's
So
got a twin bed in it.
yeah.
All this furniture is original, how we built it, and finished. So this finish has not been touched in all those years.
Hasn't been revarnished.
Not at all. There's
Oh,
no
good one.
revarnishing it.
Goodness me.
And then at one time when we first designed the boat and we're first building the hull, this was a full width. And then the children, we had young enough kids, were going to stay in like a guest cabin. Then they went, wait a minute. We need a room for the boys to stay in, Patrick and David. They had their own head.
Yeah.
And so the Dingmans made their cabin smaller so that the kids can have their own room. And at this level was basically Dingman's family.
Right.
This will be the master.
Yeah,
Right now we're working here in the
Yeah.
center board.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
for that we have the floor open.
Yeah, he had a big model in I think it was like the America or something in there. Push a button and this bed has gas struts that lifts it up so you can store stuff underneath it. Push the button and the gas struts lower it back down.
So this would be the head.
Yeah. Yeah, slide that.
Wow. Don't tell me it's his and hers.
Yeah, his and hers with
Ah,
the bathtub. And at the time, here I'll take
So
it.
bathtub
Yeah.
and shower.
Yeah, at the time, see, and it's on automatic. I just walked in and the light came on. At the time, the boat, we knew Mr. and Mrs. Dingman were coming. This was a true story. We knew Mr. and Mrs. Dingman were coming. Next Friday, they'll be here. So we really picked up the pace because we were behind. We're trying to get it done. And we put the mirror in. We put the marble top on. We put the mirror in, set it in glue. And even the day that they arrived, the glue was just like a couple days old. And then Mr. Dingman, Andrew Winch, Evan Marshall, all the boys were going through with Mr. Dingman. And then the interior designer and some other female friends of hers. So the females were this way. And then Mrs. Dingman got into the tub that was there. And we're over outside there. And Mrs. Dingman, we start hearing, "My tits don't get wet. My tits don't get wet. My tits don't get wet. Michael!" And then Mr. Dingman comes in here and goes, "Tim, her tits." I said, "We put in what David Easton designed. He picked it out of a catalog because he was looking at the section."
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, she's not going to come sailing if her tits don't come get wet." I said, "Okay, well, we just put this in. The glue is still wet. The mirror I'd have to bust it to get the, oh my God." And he said, "Did somebody tell you we had a money problem?" I said, "No, sir, we can get it out." And we custom made this tub.
All right.
This tub was made of fiberglass so that when she sat in it, all the way down, her tits would get wet. Because it was like down like this.
Right.
She was way down here. And she was sitting here fully dressed with her purse on, was sitting here, and it was like way down here. So you see, this thing follows the hull form. It touches the hull
right.
form. We had to custom make it to the hull form.
Right.
The designer, Andrew Winch, they were just picking a tub out of a catalog that would fit.
It would fit, which I
A little bit smaller. Okay, oh, this is not tall. Okay, that's the one. Okay, that's it. Not thinking about her tits. Right now we're making a Dodger. Right now over here, he wants a Dodger over the back companionway so that he can leave it open and not have rain come in.
Makes sense to me.
Makes sense to me.
I'm going to tell the story a bit later, but this one here is the one that sunk the tanker in the Bahamas. It was doing 27 knots, super yacht. It was doing 27 knots and it ran up the back of a tanker. It's an aluminium boat and it sunk a steel boat in the Bahamas. That's just at Christmas time. So that's her there. So I'm hoping to have a look. Going to try and sneak a look in the tent.